Peace be with you. I'm going to start with a prayer as I'm introducing Parsha Tzav. And it's a prayer about merging the heavens and the earth, which is what we're talking about. L'Shem Yakut Kedusha Brihu Ushinate Bi'ilu Imulaihed Shem Yukit Bevavke B'Yida Shalom Hashem Kozreel Kolam Amen. And I'm just sending you some positive energy to help awaken what we call in Hebrew the Ruach HaKodesh or the Kundalini. Just take a moment to look before we get started. Okay, Parsha Tzav is the words translate as to command or instruct. Now, these days that pushes people's buttons. Who's going to command me? Who's going to control me? But let's go a little deeper. Okay, it's about, in the first really 6 lines, it's about a clear statement. Fire of God, and keep the fire of God going on the altar of your own heart. Now they're talking about the altar and they're talking about the temple, but there's only one altar at this point. It's the altar of your own heart. And the teaching here is we're the offering. We're the offering on the altars of our own heart. Think about that as a moment. The Baal Shem Tov talks about what does it mean to be an offering. Baal Shem Tov was a great liberated mystic, and he lived 1698 to 1760. And he said there's 3 steps to being an offering, Kobar. Step 1, submission. Step 2, separation a little bit. Step 3, sweetness. So submission, that's the thing that gets everybody in trouble. Like, I'm not going to submit to anything. Wait a second. This is about divine will. Okay, let's get clear. It is about, at one level, doing the Torah way, but it's really about the divine will in our lives. And I'm going to tell you a story, true story. In 1983, after I returned from a 7-year cycle in and out of India with, I did a 40-day fast. And on the last 3 days, no water, no food, no anything. And I went very, very, very deep. In fact, I thought, I'm done. And I was literally leaving my body when God, a little voice came out. I'll paraphrase it. Hey, buddy, where do you think you're going? And it's like, right. The voice really rang out and said, you're not done. You do need to turn it back and go to your roots. Because the whole process of liberation was really done outside of my roots. And not only you to go to your roots, to help people wake up. Okay. Now, Prakash Anand had told me, one of my enlightened gurus who acknowledged me as being liberated, and he said, you really need to follow the Dharma of whatever you're going to do. You have to hold that energy of the group beliefs and so forth if you can be accepted. So I kind of knew from that teaching that wherever I was going to serve or in whatever way, had to really hold the Dharma. In the Western culture, that's the Dharma of the Torah. Okay, that's the foundation. It's the 10 speakings, and all the things that come from it. I also know that most people aren't ready to do that, and so I have evolved what I call the 6 foundations in sevenfold peace, which in essence, non-sectarian, non-reference to religion, is how to live in a natural way that brings you to liberation. And that keeps us connected to the divine. That's the directive. We're given that directive, and those who want to follow the Torah fully, that's good. The 6 foundations, 7-fold peace. Again, non-sectarian, same principle though. So here's the key statement for Parsha, this Parsha. And it's very simple. The statement is, at the beginning of the Parsha, there's a fire burning in your heart, and I'm going to say on the altar, keep the fire burning at all times. Big struggle in today's world. So much is going on. The dark side comes in and, throws plagues and diseases and whatever else at us, and people go into fear. But hey, can we stay focused on the truth of who we are? Can we stay focused on that we are the light of God, we're the spark of the divine, and at the beginning step, we're in the now, without past, present, or future. As we evolve spiritually, as I write in my spiritual autobiography, it's eventually going to get out within the year or so, eternal presence. Okay, so we go from the now, which is the beginning steps of liberation, without past, present, and future, and we go in the eternal presence that's constantly holding past, present, future simultaneously. And that allows us to live in the continuum of human consciousness. Where does it take us? Back to the message of Tzav, which is really key. All of us have the eternal flame of the divine burning in our heart, and our job is simple and as deep as it sounds, is to keep that eternal flame going. We call it the Nir Tamad, the eternal flame. And that's the big teaching. And we are the sacrifice. So the initial sacrifice is aligning with the divine teaching. You've got a flame, the eternal flame of God, eternal fire of God in your heart, and you need to feed it every day. We need to feed it in all our actions. And it's interesting when we look at the translations, because part of how we feed it is with joy, spiritual love, and actually holiness. Now, holiness, Kadesh, what does that mean? Actually, it's translated as ignited fire. So we're back to fire again. Keeping the fire of God on the altar in our heart, always going. That's the essence. It takes us beyond all religions. It takes us to the truth of who we are. But the truth of who we are, again, is in a larger context. So when we keep that fire going, we actually then become a fire that burns away all the negative thoughts, burns away all the thoughts, burns away so we know the personality is a case of mistaken identity, and we can simply be in the eternal presence, experiencing it all, past, present, and future, simultaneously. That's how we keep the fire going. That's how we keep the fire going, connected to generations from the very giving of the Torah 3,300 years ago to the very thousands of years into the future. It's all about us. So there's just a key take-home message here, is we don't have to worry about the fires of the power of darkness, because a match, a candle, can dispel the darkness. And we are way bigger than that. Today, April 4th, 2020, we are doing a worldwide meditation to light that flame of God, that eternal flame of God in our hearts, to burn up the darkness that wants to put that flame out. So please, in my closing here, understand we are the flame of God. Our daily life and how we live it, whether we follow the 6 foundations, 7-fold peace, or follow the Torah more specifically, our daily life is about keeping that flame going. That's the bottom line. And now, not only are we going to keep that flame going, we're going to extend it to create that flame that burns the darkness that's surrounding this planet, that's infecting our solar system. That's what's key. And we're doing it at different times. Tonight, and West Coast time, it's 7:45 p.m. Those who want to go with me with that, tune in at 7:35. We'll discuss it a little bit. And then on the East Coast, of course, it's 10:45. If you're in Brazil, it's 11:45. It's the time zone that we're talking about. So this isn't going to be the only time. We are the eternal flame. Our job is to keep it going for the whole world. And that will dispel the darkness. It's the only thing we have. But of course, we don't need, millions and millions of people, okay, to make this happen. We need maybe the square root of 1%. I'll settle for 144,000. We're hoping tonight it'll be over 1 million. So please stay with it. Know we are the eternal flame of God. And may we always be blessed to keep that eternal flame of God burning on the altars of our heart forever. Shalom, shalom, shalom.